What's going on, everybody? My name is the Brotator Chip, and today I'm going to be starting a bit of a series where I'm going to be doing commentary on every single patch note that comes out for any games that I play in my community. Phasmophobia, Demonologist, Forewarned, Ghost Watchers, all that kind of stuff you can think of around the investigative horror scene. I'm going to be trying to do some commentary on and making videos about it. So this is number 1, and we're going to be starting off with the Phasmophobia Dev Preview number 12. If you did not know, yesterday, on July 25th, Phasmophobia devs actually said that the Phasmophobia update, the massive progression update, is going to be delayed until mid-August, so it's not going to come out for another 2 weeks. Now, obviously, you know, in the beginning when we got that news, it was a little bit disheartening because we've been waiting for a new update so long already. But to be honest, it was only 2 weeks, and that's very limited in the amount of time we've already been waiting. So it's not too big of a deal. If it means that the update's going to be even more polished and bug-free than it would have been otherwise, it's totally worth it, in my opinion. So, real quick, let's get on to this dev preview that they just released today on July 26th to show us what's coming up in this new update. So, first things first, they talk about the progression system, something that we're all very curious about because we're all getting our levels wiped, and we all have one opportunity to get whatever level we want to be on our arm patch and to show off for the rest of our time in Phasmophobia. And if you didn't know that, if this is new information to you, whatever your level is before the level wipe and this new progression update is going to live on your arm, on your character, for everybody to show off. And the higher level you are, the different symbol you're going to have showing in it. And that's actually explained in previous dev previews. So if you haven't seen that information, go check it out. It's inside their Steam page in the previous dev preview sections. So, first things first, experience and money. This is a massive area of interest because a lot of people have been wondering how much XP is it going to take to each level. Because right now it's 100 experience per level to get to like 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, even 1,000 to 1,001. 100 experience, flat rate. And that's not going to be the way it's going to be in this new update. It's going to be basically every single level is going to be a little bit more experience required to get you to that next level. And therefore, there's going to be a prestige system. So, right here, right now, it's explaining that experience and money values are now tied. If you earn $100, you also be earning 100 experience. Nice and simple. That's not how it is currently. Currently, you could have a little bit more XP than money, or a little bit more money than XP, I should say. And it's kind of close together, though. They're not too far apart. So now it's going to be a little bit easier to understand, especially for newer players. So this is a good change, in my opinion. The amount of money and experience you will earn has skyrocketed when compared to the live version of the game, meaning that they're planning on giving you more money and more experience for completing a round on professional, nightmare, insanity, intermediate, amateur, etc. Individual values have been tweaked, like moving the bone out of the reward multiplier, which is interesting. I don't really know if I like the fact that the bone is no longer a requirement to get a perfect game. It was kind of like a staple, you know, as somebody who's played this game since the very beginning, like I've enjoyed finding the bone as a requirement to get a perfect game, but maybe that's just an opinion that's not too popular. That's fair enough. Sometimes the bone is almost impossible to find. It can be glitched into something, so that'll definitely take out any factors of that being a possibility, and you won't have to worry about ruining your perfect game for the inability to find the bone. To make a game feel more rewarding, encouraging players to complete the main objectives. So, right here in this screenshot, we can see that CJ did a professional round with that 3 times multiplier, had a perfect investigation bonus of $185. That's pretty considerable. All in all, getting the correct ghost, he had an Oni, and he got 1,205 experience and $1,205. For a professional round, that is so much more than you make right now. Almost 4 times or more than you currently make in the live version of the game. So this makes a lot of sense to me, and to a lot of people this is going to seem like a massive jump from the current state of the game. The reason for that is explained in the very next section of this update. So it says each level required experience increases as you level. As the amount increases further, the closer you get to level 100. For example, you need 100 XP to get from level 1 to 2, but over 5,000 to get from level 99 to 100. 5,000 experience to get from level 99 to 100. That's a lot. So in the grand scheme, you're going to have to do several professional games to get to level 100, from 99 to 100. That's quite a significant amount. So although it seems like you're getting something, you're really not, because as you level, it's going to become less and less impressive. When you finally reach level 100, you'll be presented with a choice. Continue playing as you are, leveling past 100, or at any time, you can opt to prestige, resetting your money, level, and equipment in favor of gaining an additional loadout slot, a new unique badge, and title for your ID card, and a new patch for your player's arm. That's super, super cool, honestly. Especially the thing that really interests me the most here is in favor of gaining an additional loadout slot. That sounds really, really cool. I would like to know more information about that, but it seems like there's a reason to prestige in this game. There's a reason to want to go ahead and reset everything, because when you prestige, you're going to be losing all of the tier equipment you had unlocked previously. You're going to have to do it all over again. So, I mean, there has to be a reason for that. And it sounds like this is that reason. Also, you're going to be getting an ID badge and a new patch for the prestige. So that's also cool. If you're a person who likes achievement hunting and showing off what you've earned, that is going to be a massive factor for you. Consumables. With the equipment system, some items will be labeled consumable in the shop. If one of these items is used at all during a contract, it will need to be rebought. When you return to the lobby, some upgrades for consumable items actually remove the need to rebuy them each time too. So this is interesting. Consumables, in my mind, are sanity pills, specifically sanity. Also probably salt. Salt is probably a consumable as well, I would have to imagine. Things that you can actually, use, and in theory, it wouldn't be there anymore. I mean, sanity pills is the biggest one, because you take the pill and it's gone, you throw it on the ground. You're going to have to rebuy that. Maybe a higher level, a tiers of sanity pills, whether it be a tier 3 sanity pill, etc. You'll be able to use them more times and not need to rebuy them every time. That would be super cool. We'll have to see in the future. But I'm excited about this. I think that's pretty cool. I don't never really made any sense to not buy any more sanity pills after you used it. But it definitely will be using up a lot more money than it was in the past for you. All right. Next. Salt. Some of you may remember the ultraviolet preview that we mentioned, salt specifically, so we thought it was time to dive deeper into some details. As you know, with the ultraviolet changes, salt will become an aid in gathering evidence. If your ghost isn't feeling interactive enough and just won't touch a door or window, you can place some salt and gather footsteps instead. There's a lot of areas in Phasmophobia maps we can all think about that just a ghost will not touch a door or a light switch. The one that comes to mind specifically is if you're in like the gymnasium or something inside of high school, or a room that doesn't have a door in high school or Sunny Meadows. It's just really difficult to get fingerprints in that situation. You often have to wait for the ghost to hunt and check the door that it touched during that hunt to see if you have fingerprints. Now, if you get footsteps, the ultraviolet footsteps, you will now be able to say, hey, I have ultraviolet evidence. I don't need to get fingerprints, because it's the same thing. Super cool, super awesome. It's a long time coming. For a lot of new players to Phasmophobia, they were always very confused. Is footsteps ultraviolet the same thing as fingerprints? Now there's going to be no more confusion for people coming into this game. They're the same thing, and they always will be. And I'm assuming the Wraith just won't step in salt. So that'll be like the one ghost that you can't get ultraviolet footsteps on, I'd have to imagine. That would make the most sense. With equipment upgrade, salt is a little more useful than previously. This is really what I want to know. I'm trying to figure out, in my mind, what is the benefit of having higher tier equipment? How much better is it really? And this description breaks it down perfectly into letting me know how overpowered tier 3 stuff is. Let's check it out. So tier 1 essentially is just the ghost hunting salt shaker. You get 2 piles from it per canister, and they're just little like piles on the ground, like what we know right now, essentially. Instead of 3, we're going to get two piles per can. And you can bring 3 cans in with you per round. Tier 2 salt is going to be in a little wooden container filled with a special pink Himalayan salt, very fancy. With its larger capacity, you can place 3 piles down instead of the 2 with the tier 1. But instead of a small pile, you can place a line of salt. We're doing lines! Perfect for blocking doorways and corridors. So currently, a lot of players use salt to currently block off hallways and corridors and doorways and stuff like that, and they just use 3 piles in a line. So this one, you only have to use 1 line. It'll do the exact same effect, essentially, for testing for footprints. I like this a lot. Tier 2 makes sense to me. Tier 3 brings a lot more to the table, and this is where it gets really interesting. A glass bottle filled with custom blend of black salt that has been blessed. If a ghost steps in during this If a ghost steps in this during its passive state, it will be repelled back the way it came, allowing you to effectively trap the ghost in its room if you place the salt correctly. During the ghost hunting state, if the ghost passes through the special salt, it will be slowed down considerably for a short time. Big things here, and this is unbelievably exciting for me because one, I can basically make so that I can keep this ghost trapped in its room and it won't be roaming around too much or changing its special room on me, especially on higher difficulties. That's very helpful. And two, I can actually slow a ghost down during the ghost time so I can try to get a ghost picture a little bit easier or just try to get away in a pinch. So, I mean, this is massive. I'm really excited for all Tier 3 pieces of equipment, and I guarantee as soon as the update releases with the new piece of equipment, I will be doing videos on every single one of them, talking about what they do, what the benefits of using them are, and strategies to go ahead and use them during gameplay. Definitely keep an eye out for that. Last but not least, here we can see that we have a little video of an Oni running through the salt. You can see it speeds up pretty consistently, and then as it walks through each layer of salt, firstly it parts it in the middle, allowing you to know that it stepped through it, and also it slows it down significantly, almost to being like Hantu's speed in hot temperatures. So very helpful. All right. Also, down here, a little something to note, it says an auto refill button will be added to the loadout screen, so you don't need to manually buy things after every contract, which I think is great, especially if they're going to make it so consumables have to be rebought every round, unless you have like tier 3 of them. Having that button is going to save you a lot of work. And to be honest, I really hope that the shop system inside Phasmophobia gets reworked, because it's already very confusing to a large number of players on how to go ahead and buy stuff within it. So, could you imagine having tier 1, 2, and 3 stuff on top of it already being a very confusing interface? I really hope they rework the whole shop system. I think it needs to be more user-friendly. Let me know in the comments if you agree. I'd love to hear your opinions on that one, because I know it's a bit of a hot topic. But that's it for the Dev Preview 12. I really am excited for this next update. We've been content starved for this game for so long, and I really think that this is going to be a massive boom point for the game, especially since at the end of August it's supposed to be coming to consoles, new-gen consoles, for Xbox and PlayStation. But honestly, there's so much exciting stuff happening in the Phasmophobia world, and I cannot wait to show it off to all of you and to play with all of you with the content that we have available to us once it comes out. So thank you so much for watching this. Let me know in the comments what you think about these upcoming changes. I'm going to be doing more of these commentary preview type things in the future, so make sure you subscribe for more videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.